guys, welcome back. Too many projects, not enough time. I'm Andrew. Here we are in the shop again, working on Ivy. Now today, the plan is get the gearbox in, bolted up to the engine, and all the clutch and everything mounted. So welcome, thanks for coming along. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully I earned your subscription. And let's start by bolting the flywheel up and get the pilot bushing. Alright, first off with the pilot bushing here, what we have is a Chevy pilot bushing for an SM465, which is the gearbox we're using. Now there's the Land Rover one, much bigger center, so that is not going to work with the gearbox snout there. So what I did, took the SM465, took this Land Rover one, which fits in the crank, as well as the Chevy one to a machinist friend. He machined this one down to fit the same dimensions as the Land Rover one, so we're going to put this one in. We're going to do that first, and then we'll move on to bolting the flywheel. So you want this to be a snug fit and not loose fit, and then let's see how this goes. Okay, there we go. Nice snug fit. Next we will, should I leave that there for a second? Now the difference is these are off the automatic flywheel, transmission flywheels that most of these V8s came with, at least in the later years. But what we actually need is a longer 1-inch bolt with these flywheels. That's what it's asked for. So this morning I ran around, found 6 of these. 7/16 UNF, 1 inch. Now we're just going to put just a little dab of Loctite on there. Alright, so we're going to torque these up to between 55 and 60 foot-pounds of torque. So we're going to set it to 56, and basically as she beeps and turns green, we'll call it good, because I'll be probably just a hair past that. So almost. There we go, 56, 56. Now I'm sure some of you are going to be screaming at me to do a star pattern, but there we go, 56 all the way around. Moving on, let's get the clutch installed. Okay, so this flywheel came off a Discovery 2, manual Discovery 2. The face doesn't look that bad actually at all, so we're not even going to worry about scuffing it up or anything. It'll be all good. And then next, we're actually using a Land Rover V8 clutch plate, because it fits the flywheel, fits the pressure plate, and this spline actually fits the Chevy gearbox as well. So we're going to use a Chevy plug to get it all centered, because it also has the same as the pilot bushing. So there we go. And next is a brand new V8 Land Rover pressure plate. Let's get the pins all lined up. we're just going to tighten them up. I'm just going to work my way round and round till we get it all tight. Snagging it up. Perfect. There we go. Alright, let's get the gearbox on the back of this. Okay, so for the, because it's a Buick slash, well, it's a Chevy gearbox and the Buick bell housing and everything, we've got the Chevy. It's an adjustable throw-out bearing. So what I'm going to do is put this on, set it all up, bolt it all up, get down underneath, and then back this off to a point where I've got just a fat 1/16 between this and the pressure plate forks there. We also are running a standard V8 Chevy clutch fork as well, as it is a Chevy slash Buick bell housing anyway, and it all fits and works and fits this as well. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to start off with it pretty much almost the way in. Just slide that on like that. Now we'll stab it in the hole and button it up, and we'll see what adjustment we need. Beautiful, like butter, like butter. Alright, so I think you can see the throw-out bearing up there. Now we just need to very carefully spin that. Sorry it's not easy for you guys to see. There we go. Oop, hold that one. We may have maxed it out there, peeps. We may I would say we've maxed that out. How much would I say is up there? Alright. Alright, let's find a feeler gauge and find out how much slop we got there. It's probably like 1/8 of an inch, I'm guessing. But I think we've maxed the adjustment out of that, so we may need a... Okay, everyone, maybe that's a better shot. My apologies there. So there's the throw-out bearing up there. Now I've adjusted it all the way out, and I have that little bit of play there. So I have, my apologies if I bumped the camera. I have this 1/8 bit of scrap that I can hopefully get. Doesn't matter if I get it behind the bearing or in front. But if I put that in there as a 1/8 gauge, that'll give me an idea of how much we're playing with. Oh yeah, we're looking at 1/4 inch there. Well, at least 3/16. Alright, so through my initial Googling and research, seems as though these bell housings and the American 3 and 4 speed transmissions did need, for a lot of these MG installations, which these are similar to what they're doing, except for this is a 4-speed SM465, basically the same as the other North American gearbox conversions as a lot of the MG owners and stuff do. So as far as bolting up is concerned. So through that research, I figured out that a lot of them, or pretty much all of them, have to do a 1/4-inch spacer, because the tip of the shaft here is hard pressed up against the pilot bushing there. So a lot of them are doing like 3/16 1/4-inch spacers. So these aren't squished hard up against the pilot bushing there, allowing them to do their job. So I did get this done up, and this was installed here just then when I tried to install it all. And just out of curiosity, because we're trying to make up an extra 1/4-inch for that thrust bearing, I thought, you know what, let's take it off and see if it really does need it or not. And sure enough, I just put it back in off camera here without the spacer. And yeah, I'm a fat 8 3/16 shy, so this is definitely needed. So we're going to put this back on. That way. It simply goes on there. Once again, my machine buddy did me that up. And that goes back on there. And then we're going to bolt it back up. I'll bolt it back on off camera here. But I just wanted to share that in case you're thinking of doing this as well. I've proved, yes, you definitely need that spacer. I mean, you could get away with a 3/16 in a pinch, but I did 1/4-inch just to make sure I was comfortable. I don't think it's really going to make any big difference for anything. So, there we go. Some info. Now I've just got to source a 1/4-inch spacer on the back. I'll look for a spacer kit for a one of these gearboxes for non-adjustable throwout bearings. You can get spacer kits for them, so you get your throwout bearing set up properly. So if I get them, that'll give me extra width for the adjustable one. Okay guys, so went out to a friend's place, machined up a 1/4-inch spacer. That will go on the back here, like so. Now I've set this almost all the way back into shore again, so that when we put it under, I can just extend it out to where it has to be. Perfect, like that. Let's put it back in. Like butter. Alright guys, here we are again. Alright, now we're going to see a bit of slop there. See if we can reach in. All right. Okay. So I've got a piece of 1/16 here. We can. I'm going to try and put it in the back because that should still give us the same spacing. Alright, that gives us 1/16 right there. And we're going to be 1/16 to 1/8. So that's probably perfect. Alright, so now I take the gearbox out once more, and then we set the locking pins into that. Visually it's 1/16 with the 16th piece of flat bar. That is where we need to be, give or take. Looks good. Spacer helped a lot. Okay, so we have our height set that we just took out of the gearbox there. We have the height set at a fat 16th, somewhere between 16th and a 1/8. So what I'm going to do now is going to reset the mics, because we have to back this off, put some thread locker on it and put it back down. So I'm going to try and count them anyway, but just to be sure, we're going to 45.51, and just to be sure, 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. 45.51. 45.35. Did I go halfway longer there? This is why we do this. Anyway, that's where we are. I will go back through the video and double check, but so we do have a little goosey. There we go. It says to either use a press or a punch gently. And flush, and then punch the other one in. Alright, so we've got to nip one of these off on the side here, in here. Leave one of them, because one of them will be left, so that when the fork goes on, if it spins, this pin will just rest up against here and stop the whole thing totally rotating. Why you take one side off, I guess it's not really needed, but we'll follow the instructions, and we'll using the grinder, we'll cut one of these pins off just in this section alone, and then between this one and the bearing itself will be the secured area. Clean that excess Loctite up, so we don't want that getting into the bearings, and then we'll put it in. Alrighty, tidy. So we got the pin all the way through one side, trimmed it off the other side, got a depth set, got a spacer on the back. Now we just need to get all of this to come together here. We put a skiff of anti-seize, the copper anti-seize, a little bit of extra lubrication for the thrower bear, for the pilot bushing, sorry. There we go. And a little bit. Well, just put it on there. There we go. That'll help that. my butter. Alright guys, there we go. I got the gearbox in. Hopefully that was some helpful information. Not sure how many of you guys out there are going to be doing this particular combination and setup, but I hope it helped. So thanks very much, as I say, for coming along. If you like what I'm doing, please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll definitely see you on the next video. Now that we're back at it, and I'm super excited to be back at it again, back in the shop. So on the next video, hopefully we'll have the transfer case to get back in. We'll start putting the bulkhead back on and the steering components, and start mocking everything up to continue on from there. So we'll see you guys next time.